Viewer discretion is advised. Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
What am I looking at here? Leadhead has 334,000 subs. I'm sorry. Excuse me. What? I've been yelled at. I've been yelled at to watch this. I'm going to love this. Nicandros, I don't know if I'm going to love this. I don't know if I'm going to love this. It looks nice, you know, like a leftist video essay about mothers. You know, how bad could it be? The fuck is this, like, Wes Anderson style shooting? What is going on here?
When I was a little kid, one of the children's books that my mom kept around for me was The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. I remember liking the illustrations.
I am terrified of this person. I'm, like, actually horrified. Like, everything about their vibe. I haven't watched any Leadhead coverage, okay? I've just heard it through the grapevine. I've never seen what they actually look like. Their vibe is scaring me.
And I was a big fan of exploring the woods and climbing the trees around my neighborhood, so I really gravitated towards the book. It's a pretty contentious little poem about a tree that gives and gives and gives until eventually she has nothing left to give. I didn't think much of it when I was a little kid, but rereading it as an adult, I'm forced to wonder why my mom gravitated towards that book in particular.
I'm sorry. What's happening? So what I'm gathering so far from this video is that they have an issue with their mother. That's the I'm already 47 seconds in. I think they have an issue with their mother.
Would you believe me if I said that my fiance and I had a 19 and a 20-year-old pair of kids?
This is extortion!
I'm sorry. How old is this person? Listen, you're gonna miss the context. Okay.
Towards that book in particular.
Okay.
Would you believe me if I said that my fiance and I had a 19 and a 20-year-old pair of kids?
Yeah, you're a freak,
well,
I can tell.
It's complicated, seeing as I'm only 26, but we do.
What? How could you... Wait. How? How does that work? Wait! You're 26, and you adopted a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. What?
For the past couple of months, found family has been a pretty prevalent theme in my videos. This idea of people I've met and become friends with taking on the role of family members in my life. This could be something as traditional and familiar as a girlfriend that you live with and see every morning as you wake up and every night as you go to sleep, or a roommate who's like a sister to you.
What?
Typically, though, it takes the form of a friend group who you...
But none of them called each other children. I don't call my roommate that I've lived with my kid. That's insane.
Love as if they were a family. Good times, bad times, sickness and health, depressed phases, financial distress, car troubles, drama. It doesn't matter. Most people who find themselves in relationships like these are trying to make up for the dysfunctional families that they grew up.
That's not healthy.
And so whatever happens...
So you're all dysfunctional, and you're all trying to find some form of, like, coexistence and codependence with each other? Chris, what if I told you she saw those people as sexual partners? I'm sorry. What? This is the bad ending of Lie.
Or the dysfunctional families that they grew up in. And so whatever happens to a found family member, however they grow and change, found families are supposed to stick together and support each other no matter what, in the same way that they wish their biological families had been capable of. At least, That's how sacredly I view the found family dynamic. Though it's worth clarifying that trauma is not a prerequisite to having a found family, a lot of the time it can be a pretty big motivating factor in seeking that sort of dynamic in your adult.
That is unhealthy. That is unhealthy. It is incredibly unhealthy for people to use their trauma to try and find other people with similar like trauma, to expand on that trauma and continue to foster it between each other and try to work with each other on it when you need to seek a therapist. You need to seek a genuine individual that is medically trained in that field. You should not be a part of a group of people that are going to exacerbate that because you all have the same feelings and none of you are working on it. Stop it.
Adulthood. While I think it's pretty uncommon for specific familial roles like mom, grandpa, or uncle to be established within a found family, that isn't unheard of either. Well, one day my fiance and I, along with the two youngest in the household, were going to the grocery store to pick up what we would need for dinner. My girl and I were both in a pretty bad mood, but these two were just running around all full of energy, grabbing all the snacks and candy that they could carry to the register. They got so distracted that they even lost track of us and had to look all around the grocery store to find us again. Once they finally did, the youngest, this 19-year-old boy, called us Mom and Mom. That little joke, bolstered by the obvious aesthetic similarities of two kids running amok while the fiancé and I spent upwards of $50 to feed them.
These are adults. These aren't children these are adults. These are grown men and women. These are not children.
Don't worry, Chris. It will get worse. Trust.
These are adults.
And the rest of the family for the night felt...
Imagine seeing this at your grocery store. I'm pretty sure I'd cause a scene. I'd be like, excuse me, what? I'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
different.
This is like Manson family level talking points. It's like, this is the found family. You're with us. You're my children. 20-year-old. I swear to God. This is Manson family level talking points.
To me. Never in my life have I been called mother to someone unless there was some sort of sexual connotation at play, but that's not what this was. Weirdly enough, it felt more like it was his way of saying, thank you for cooking for us tonight, and thank you for putting up with my high energy.
What?
We both laughed it off, but there was a part in my fiancé and I's minds that really appreciated it. Being in a crappy mood, but going out of our way to take care of these two innocent people, it felt like something new that my fiancé and I could bond over. Something we hadn't experienced together before. If we're a family and her...
How about you have kids, I guess? Go it, like, I don't... Like, but these aren't kids. These are grown adults that you brought in. These are grown adults close to your age.
And I are the oldest, and
Don't forget to change the live title. I did. I said learning the Leadhead lore. I got it. I got it.
these two are the youngest, then yeah, I guess we're moms together. It's a cute thing to be able to say about my girlfriend and I.
Do I want this person to have real kids? No. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's super weird that you're calling these grown adults your children. Your family dynamic in the real world is fucked.
Like, something new that my fiancé and I could bond over. Something we hadn't experienced together before. If we're a family and her and I are the oldest and these two are the youngest, then yeah, I guess we're moms together. It's a...
No.
cute thing to be able to say about my girlfriend and I. Mind you, this was before I ever proposed to her, so it was a little bit of a step for us, honestly. Well, as the weeks went on, our boy was calling us mom and mom more often.
Dude, I'm gonna be, like, brutally honest here. Scott Pilgrim versus the World has destroyed a generation of men and women. Destroyed them. Like, just mentally, physically. Like... I can't take this shit anymore.
Well, as the weeks went on, our boy was calling us mom and mom more often. It got to...
Stop saying your boy. He's close to your age. Like...
to the point where he felt like he was being disrespectful when he called us by our actual names, and now it's weird when I do hear him say them. I don't think I've actually heard him say penny in months. Next thing I know, we're giving him all sorts of advice and making sure he doesn't stay up too late when he has work the next day, making sure he eats enough, teaching him all sorts of life lessons about being trans, as he'd only transitioned about a month prior to all of this, and even going into some sexual education stuff when necessary.
Wait a fucking minute here. You recognize this person as your child, okay? Wait a fucking minute here! Wait a fucking minute! You recognize this person as your found family adopted child, and you are doing sexual education with them when they are an adult. What the fuck is this?
As his homeschooling has completely robbed him of all sorts of information about how his body works. It's honestly scary. So, that sexual education thing, that really sounds like innuendo, right? Well, I'll be the first to say that when I first met him, I thought we were just going to be friends with benefits or something.
So they were begging their soon-to-be adopted son. What is happening? I hate this. It's a polycule that turned into a found family. That is the most mentally ill sentence I have ever heard in my entire life. So it's a polycule of people bagging each other, and then they go up and they move into, man, we're a family. This is Manson family shit. Like, what are you talking about? This is Manson family shit. I half expect this person to start, like, dosing their children with LSD and saying, we have to go murder a celebrity to change America. Like, I'm ready for that. It's going to happen.
After all, my fiancé and I are in an open relationship. It definitely wasn't off the table as an option. But as time went on and he came to us for more and more advice, and we started taking more and more of an interest in his well-being and development, that motivation in him and I's relationship pretty quickly vanished from my mind. Suddenly, I completely stopped caring about how I looked around him. I just dressed for comfort, exactly as I would if I were home alone. He really did see us as his mothers, and we, with a little bit of time...
That's so weird. It's too early in the morning for this shit. It's too early. It's too early.
He really did see us as his mothers, and we...
It's so weird to call it mothers. You're so close in age. Stop it.
With a little bit of time, started to see him as our son. He wasn't just a friend. He was like... well, he was my boy. That's the crazy thing for me. In every relationship I've ever had, I was either focused on being a good partner or being a good friend. And in almost every friendship I've had since my later teens, the possibility of fostering a sexual dynamic has always been floating around somewhere in my mind.
What?
This young man, though, he showed me a new type of love. One that I've never felt before. I've loved as a friend and I've loved as a romantic partner, but I'd never loved as a mother before. I've never been in a position where I feel like I'm willing to, for the sake of helping them grow as a person. But that's where I am with him. A lot of the time, I'm not his friend. I'm his mother.
Line for later.
Dress for comfort will be a cursed line for later. Why are you all doing this to me?
But I'd never loved as a mother. I've never been in a position where I feel like I'm willing to damage a friendship with somebody for the sake of helping them grow as a person. But that's where I am with him. A lot of the time, I'm not his friend. I'm his mother, and he needs to stop getting in fights with his sister and never steal one of my cigarettes again because he's too young and handsome to be doing that to his body.
Why are you doing this? Why is this happening? What the fuck is this entire fucking thing?
This is kind of where I started to enter a personally turbulent phase in this whole relationship.
Okay.
There were just so many different fears in my head. Was I taking this too seriously?
Yes! You're trying to be a mother to somebody who is 5 years younger than you.
Was I diminishing his agency as an adult and infantilizing him?
Yes! That is exactly what you're doing! Like, what?
Did he just start leaning into the mom thing as a lighthearted goof, but now he felt like he was in too deep for all of this to back out?
Yes! Yes!
Was I in the wrong for having such a deep emotional stake in him seeing himself as my son?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, that layer of fear diminished with time. Things like me fixing up his car for him and giving him rides to work while his car was still out of commission, teaching him how to replace a flat tire, or my fiancé and I letting him share a bed with us when he was too anxious to sleep alone, or taking him out...
You are literally... That's a grown... There's a grown man sleeping in your bed and letting him sleep in your bed when he gets anxious at night like he's a toddler. You are infantilizing this person. You all need therapists.
On car rides to try and talk to him and give him life lessons that his biological parents and youth group upbringing completely failed to give him. And the way he started to trust us in different ways than he trusts the other people in the house. All of it helped to dissuade those initial fears, and those fears were finally killed off when one day, in the name of the full disclosure I preached so hard in my video 2 videos ago, I had a candid conversation about those fears with him, and he told me that he did legitimately see my fiancé and I as his mothers, and that he felt more at home here than he ever did with his biological parents because of the maternal love that we'd been pouring into him.
Oh!
So I had all of those fears that I was just overreaching whenever I'd adjust my rearview mirror.
But that's just weird. You could just tell that person, hey, like, we can't be your parents. Like, we can't be, like, your legitimate parents. Like, this is weird.
So I could keep an eye on him in my back seat, but those fears eventually subsided, and I got comfortable with the fact that we were his mothers, and that was an immutable fact of our dynamic. However, that's when a whole new set of fears clicked into place. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm 26 years old, and considering I only transitioned at the age of 22, I'm basically just a 4-year-old trying to raise a kid, with the found family member...
I'm sorry, what? You're basically a 4-year-old trying to... That doesn't make any sense. You've been living on this earth for 20-something years. Just because you transition, that doesn't mean that you lose all of your social and life experience. And you can't really just say, oh, I guess I'm 4 years old, raising a child. It's like... What is this? He's not a child. He's 19.
He calls his sister, getting more and more comfortable with seeing us as her mothers too, albeit at a slower pace. We're not even halfway through our 20s, and we're trying to take care of 2 kids who are nearly old enough to buy alcohol on their own.
This is bad. You should not be doing this.
How the actual fuck do I be a good mother?
You don't do any of this. You don't do any of this. You literally, unironically, don't do any of this.
Well, it's complicated. Time to talk about my mom for a little bit. While obviously I'm dramatizing a little, a quick way to communicate the finer details of my upbringing would be to say that a lot of the time, giving my mom the illusion of a happy Christmas card family was much more important than communicating the things that were really going through our minds. If someone says something even the least bit unconventional, like, I think I'll skip breakfast today and just eat a huge lunch, she gives me this look equivalent to spinning her fingers around and calling them cuckoo. That base level of normalcy enforcement cascades further and further the deeper you look into its nuances, until we get to the point where, even as an adult, there are times where it feels like I'm being rude for thanking her for Christmas gifts as opposed to Santa, and where I can't marry a girl from Detroit without being constantly asked if I feel safe.
What?
My biological...
What does that entire sentence even talk? What does that even mean?
family, one full of queers, pornographers, addicts, and pushers, has had to seriously bend reality over the years in order to preserve the illusion that any of us give a fuck about traditionalist values. It's not like we keep all of these divergent personality traits of ours a secret from her, but we grew up in a house where you were expected to be neighborly to somebody who sexually assaulted you. Just because they live next door.
What?
It's better...
What neighborhood did you grow up in?
To just ignore who your family is, because what matters more than the people are the postcards. Maybe it's a little cruel to say it out loud like that, but that's basically the vibe. I never really understood how somebody could end up like that. How somebody could trade a 20s scored by Black Flag and Hunter S. Thompson for this traditionalist posturing and erasure of human nuances. Until around the time of my most recent birthday, when I was first getting deep into this new experience of motherhood. The kids were both having a pretty horrible day on my birthday. I'm talking panic attacks. However, I've always liked making the people I care about watch a movie of my choosing on my birthday. And all of the love and all the lack of traditionalism in this family had my eyes set on the Royal Tenenbaums. I figured—
No! 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 I love that movie. And now it has been ruined forever. That is my favorite movie. By Wes Anderson. And now it has literally been destroyed by this person that has utterly and unequivocally does not understand the Royal Tenenbaum movie. I'm so angry that I just saw my favorite Wes Anderson movie in here. You are totally missing on the dynamic of what the Royal Tenenbaums is. It's a family of shitty people trying to hurt each other, and then they get together in the end, or most of them still hate each other. Like,
it'd be a cute movie that everybody in the house could relate to in one way or the other. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Well, it didn't go over super well. We wound up having to stop the movie about halfway through and have a big talk with the kids about why everything was going to be alright and why they'll live to see that day.
wait, what? Huh? What? How does that movie make you have an existential crisis? How does that happen? I'm sorry, the Royal Tenenbaum movie caused a crisis in your household? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Talks like that come up a lot in this house, but my fiance and I work through it with everybody bit by bit.
I hate this video so much.
And to be honest, we are making great progress in our training to be impromptu therapists.
This is you should not be impromptu. Why are you admitting you're an impromptu therapist? Why are you admitting that? 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 So you're saying that you acknowledge the fact that you are not able to handle the mental capacity of these two people, yourself or your partner, and you're all trying to use each other's fucking mental illness to make each other feel better and work through it together instead of seeing a fucking professional.
It's kind of just our mutual calling in life.
What?
However, on this particular night, it was my birthday, and all I wanted was to be surrounded by a happy, loving family. All I wanted was to feel like these people were as wholly devoted to keeping the family together as I was.
This is Charles Manson talking points. This is getting worse.
Seeing them so on edge being around each other just broke my heart. Of course, I didn't say any of this. I insisted that we stop the movie and go outside to talk through things the second I saw tears, but God, that night, I understood it. I understood my mom for the first time. I understood how somebody could reach this point of caring about the sensation of a happy family more than the actual engaging with the reality that
What?
we all had some pretty deep-seated mental health issues.
Yeah, no shit.
That night, it became my #1 goal to not let myself be corrupted in the same way. I would never let myself put family fun time over the family's mental health, no matter how badly I felt like just 5 minutes of family fun time would completely turn my week around. So with that first fear thoroughly philosophized—
So you're essentially saying that you would rather, instead of having good, happy memories, you want to constantly have conversations about your mental health and their mental health to continue doing it, thinking that you're going to work through it and be better people for it. No, you need to move past those things and work through it with a professional, not a found family.
in my head.
This is scaring me. This is Manson shit.
A new set of fears set in. Would I just be eternally sacrificing my happiness, my comfort, my dream of a happy family for their sake? I'll do it if I have to, but God, now I know why so many moms wound up on Valium in the 70s.
What?
Eternal, thankless sacrifice. Is that what motherhood is really all about? I wound up staring at this painting for about a half hour that night, thinking of how my mother must have felt, always chasing this dream that she could never have, feeling forced to project nothing but unwavering comfort and security in a home where she'd always be afraid of what deviant shit her kids were going to get into next. The Giving Tree, that poem I mentioned in the beginning, is about a tree who loves a boy like her own son. And over the boy's life, she gives and gives and gives, compromising her body, her happiness, and her very self to this boy who endlessly asks her for more, until she's nothing but a stump for him to sit on as he waits to die. The book insists that the tree is happy over and over and over again, until eventually it's stated outright that she wasn't really happy. The cynic in me finds it really easy to imagine that my mom simply tuned out that one line, but not really, and engaged with the book as a thank you to all the mothers in the world who so selflessly sacrifice everything to take care of their loved ones. But there's a very loud voice in my head that wonders if she knew, even when my siblings and I were that young, that motherhood was going to be this unshakable dedication to fulfilling a thankless role.
That's... no? No?
And it was never going to bring her happiness. Maybe keeping that book around when I was a kid was her way of reinforcing herself. That little wink to the invisible audience in her head that satirized her entire journey of motherhood.
I hate everything about this person. I hate the way that they articulate themselves. Why? Has gifted a sub to Leadhead on what, Twitch? Are you out of your mind? Why are you donating to Twitch? Core, stop it. I don't use Twitch.
Maybe she wanted to become a parable too, just like the tree. Maybe that was all she thought life would allow her to get out of her motherhood.
You are really just like speaking on behalf of your mother in like some weird manner here.
A few months ago,
her mom is still alive? Yeah, why is she talking like they're dead?
So I had taken the liberty of defining what family was for myself.
Okay.
If eternal sacrifice is the traditional definition of motherhood, then I guess I should take the liberty of defining motherhood for myself too. So that I wouldn't become a parable. I didn't want my children to be philosophizing about me the same way that I do so often with my mother.
The mental illness that is going to continue to operate throughout this entire stream is making it worse. Thank you for the 5 gifted members, Gene. You don't have children. You have 2 grown adults. You did not give birth to these kids. You did not watch them through the process of watching them grow as babies into toddlers and the toddlers into children and the children into preteens and preteens into teenagers and teenagers into adults. You did none of that. You were banging some dude, and then he called you mom, and you're like, oh, I'm a mother now. I'm a mother now. Like, that's all it is. What? This isn't motherhood.
Had to retrain my brain for this one. I had to rethink what I was getting out of motherhood and what I wanted to get out of it. Just feeling that new kind of love was enough at first. Frankly, I found all too much relatability in how the Giving Tree portrays the mother as being happy. But I needed to figure out how to make this dynamic into anything but a never-ending compromise on my part. That would be how I did better than my mother. That would be the small but significant step I would take in transcending from the mother that came before me. That would be how I made sure that I was really, actually happy.
What?
Downplaying it!
What? Why are we doing this? They're literally just ripping a Wes Anderson scene. This is annoying.
Hey kiddo, what's up?
Kiddo? Kiddo. Are they talking to their son?
No, I'm pulling up to the parts store now.
Their son? She films a lot in her car. Weird.
Yep, we can just give Spencer his oil change right when I get home if you want. I'm going to be back in my...
Spencer his oil change. Are they talking about the car? Like it's a person? I'm sorry, what am I listening to here? So wait a minute. Are they... Is Spencer a car? Like, why are they... The car's name is Spencer!
Like an hour.
The car is the son.
Okay, love you, kiddo. Oh, wait. What was your mileage on Spencer?
Did you see the title? Dude, this is my first time engaging with Leadhead's content. So this is the first thing. Guys, I don't know what the fuck is going on here, okay? This is new to me.
Okay, word. Yeah, we're probably going to want to use high mileage oil then. Okay. Well, I will tell you how much it costs, but honestly, you don't got to worry about it. Okay, love you, sweetie. See you soon. Bye.
I'm skipping ahead. This is annoying.
Later, my biological parents came to my house for a belated birthday dinner, and it was my first chance to show off my new family to them.
So the normal family came in to witness the Manson family in real time.
It was my chance to finally tell my mother, oh shit, I get it now. I'm so sorry you've had to feel so conflicted and compromised for so long. This time, she looked at my dad and made her little cuckoo face. I guess this new family of mine is anything but traditional.
It's not even close. There's nothing traditional about it. None. You adopted a 19-year-old, and you are letting him be infantilized into your homestead because you want to play mother. Like, that's not a family.
I even showed her the dog painting, but she just couldn't acknowledge that what I was experiencing was real.
I kind of agree with your mother.
Anyways, my mommy issues aren't exactly the point of this video. Let's talk about why...
I'm very confused how this video isn't about your mommy when the entire video was talking about your mom. But okay.
These two adults need mother figures so badly. Well, it's actually a pretty old tradition for intentional living spaces occupied by trans women to, quote-unquote, adopt young queer folks. Like...
That's such a weird thing to do. Like, why are we calling it adoption? That's just weird. I don't get that.
The Transy House operated in Brooklyn from 1995 to 2008 by the married couple Rusty Mae Moore and Chelsea Goodwin. If you, as a queer person, were kicked out by your family or couldn't find a place to live, places like the Transy House or the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries House would take you in and, in some cases, even help to raise you. While the two I'm writing about are a bit older than a lot of the residents of intentional living spaces like these, they are absolutely folk whose queerness has served as a major obstacle in their development when they were younger. Whether the issues came from being homeschooled or from being forced to repress their queerness by religious groups or having biological families who shun them around every turn, these two have a bit of catching up to do with a few adult things that any decent parents would have helped them with years ago.
What?
Like I said, the boy wasn't able to work up the nerve to transition until about 3 months ago, so he still has all sorts of lessons to learn. Talks about genital preferences and his validity as a man, or the effects of testosterone. Those hard-hitting lessons about the types of guys who will happily prey on a trans man's yearning for affirmation just to score some ass. It's a scary world for a young...
What are you talking about? What is this world? Says they need hands-on learning. So essentially they're saying they're going to bang them to teach them how to have sex. That's...
trans person with nobody to help.
It is a 19-year-old.
Prepare them for the hardships. Just being able to be that for them just felt like such an honor. I've, of course, gone out of my way to find a few trans mask specific resources for him, Discord servers and all of that, but...
Stop! Discord should not be teaching you this shit.
I've been surprised to learn how many of the lessons of a male to female transition apply to the life of a trans man as well. Things like that, and the constant affirmation...
You should not be using Discord servers. I'm too sober.
Of consent on their parts are what make it feel okay for my fiancé and I to take these parental roles so seriously, in spite of the relatively small age gap. Yeah, it does get a little bit infantilizing at times, and that's...
Bro, Street says I missed Alec Gunter. Yeah, you missed it. Alec was in chat, and he didn't respond to me yelling at him.
Of it is still...
He wanted me to debate, and I called him a faggot.
A bit uncomfortable for me from time to time, but quite frankly, if somebody has trouble with leaving food out or talking to romantic interests or living peacefully with their new family or expressing themselves and is consented to us helping them, sitting them down and talking them through it, using motherhood as a framing device...
I wanted to ask about his racism. I wanted to ask him if he apologized to card posting for doxing him and saying that he had like a harem to like groom trans people.
That discomfort really quickly gives way to some of the most beautiful relationships I've ever shared with people.
What?
Relationships that I wouldn't trade for the world. sorry for that little aside. It's just that I know how weird some of this stuff sounds. I know that in the hands of a less responsible pair of parents, this dynamic could be extremely toxic for these two.
Bro, what do you mean? The two of you are not eligible people to be parents. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
So I felt the need to justify this role to you all before I move forward into some of the nuances of my fiancé and I's parenting techniques and how they've developed. Now is also a good time to mention that both of them have read the script and given me their blessing to go forward with it. So initially, my fiancé and I kind of gravitated to a good cop, bad cop style of parenting.
I'm not going to go... I don't think I'm going to be able to make it through all this video, okay? I don't think I'm going to be able to make it through all this video. Because right now, there is an arts festival going on with fried food and beer. No, it's not. No, it's not. Toastify did not drop stuff. No way. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it because there's more fun shit to do outside today. I'll definitely be revisiting it. Holy shit, he actually dropped it. We're going over this. All right, Toastify dropped the birdie video. He did. We're going to have to go over that another day. You're gonna have to go over it the other day. We're going to go over it another day. Chris, I worked on the video. Well, congratulations. I hope you did fantastic work.
Like actual cops, we were using the style to keep them feeling both safe and motivated, rather than trying to coerce them into dubiously consensual testimony. I'd be the emotional support for one of them, while
I'm not doing an IRL stream of the arts festival. I don't do IRL streams anymore.
She'd be the one pushing them to grow and calling them out when it seemed like they were stagnating. And she'd be the emotional support for the other while I pushed them to grow, and we'd switch out who had which duty with which kid every few weeks to not create a situation where the kids were ever too anxious of confrontation with one of us or too comfortable stagnating with the other. We figured switching it up on them from time to time would be a good way to make sure that they're honest and open with both of us.
So essentially, you guys are just... That doesn't make any sense because one of them could say something to you and say something separate to the other one, and then you have conflicting conversations, and then you both are going to have to come back to them anyways to argue with them about it and say, well, you told me this, and but you told me this. Like, what kind of parenting is this? What?
My fiancé and I are really good at conflict resolution and confrontation.
I don't think you are. Based on the way that you just described it, you do conflict resolution.
So we kind of just silently fell into these roles before we ever started to actually discuss any sort of conscious strategy for handling certain problems. But when we did start planning out how all these big talks would start going, we stuck with the good cop, bad cop thing, as it's been working well enough so far. There was only one issue, though. What if one of the kids was going through something big that would take a long time to get through, like a really problematic behavior finally being addressed after they'd been doing it their whole...
Not today. I'm not going to cover the Toastify Birdie documentary today.
...whole life. Suddenly, whoever was the bad cop at the time just had to feel like an asshole, having practically daily talks with them for weeks at a time, constantly talking about how they're acting unfairly or being dishonest or something. It got pretty emotionally tiring for both of us. A little bit before the time of the hurricane hit, we sort of started to fall into a more dynamic approach to our parenting. I had been the bad cop for a couple of weeks to one of the kids who was having the most problems at the time, and I just told my fiancé I needed a break. I could feel my tact starting to slip with the stress.
You should adopt Birdie. If you're really good at conflict resolution, you should adopt an individual known as Birdie, Leadhead.
More likely to approach parental situations from a biased perspective and handle them in ways that, while far from being bad parenting, weren't the top-tier parenting that our kids deserve for putting...
This is terrible parenting. Why are you making me say the word parenting? This is you talking to your roommates. This is not parenting.
...so much trust in us. So
I almost got caught. Thinking that they were talking about actual kids for a second. I almost got caught. Oh my God.
Took a little...
Those are your roommates!
...break and stopped pushing the kids to improve and stopped calling them out for toxic and immature behavior. And my fiancé took over in those duties for a bit, until she suddenly had an extra load of occupational stress tacked onto her typical work week, and I didn't want her to be stuck with being the bad cop on top of all of that. In a matter of a week or two, we wound up switching from good cop, bad cop to, don't worry, baby, I'll take care of this one. Her and I would use a lot of our alone time to discuss things that we thought needed to be addressed with one of the kids, like our girls' overuse of the internet as a dissociation tool, or our boys' difficulty calling it out when something someone does or says bothers him because he's just such a people pleaser. But then we would just have those talks with the kids whenever the opportunity arose, and anytime there's something we didn't see coming up, like a sudden panic attack or bad news bringing one of them down, one of us just volunteers to be the one to comfort them, or we both go, or whatever. There's a lot less strategy involved now, and a lot more of my fiance and I just trusting each other's ability to handle any situation the kids present us with, and us just working together to make sure neither of us gets overwhelmed with the constant conflict resolution. There used to
This is just making me uncomfortable. Like, this is just an uncomfortable video to watch. Like, this is a grown adult talking about feeling like a mother to grown adults in a house.
be a part of my mind that would get jealous whenever my fiance would have a talk with one of them kids and instantly get them to understand our perspective after me saying basically the same thing to them for months straight. But now there's so much trust built up between the kids and us that it really feels like there's practically no jealousy on either of our parts.
Why are you
and
getting
phrases
jealous?
like, you were the one who had to deal with something like this.
I can't get over this. These are your roommates. These are not your children.
Growing up, you should handle this one, are exchanged all the time between the two of us. We never have to worry about one of the kids not being receptive to one of us about a particular topic because my fiance and I shore up each other's weaknesses and gaps in relevant experience.
Okay.
And suddenly it feels like we can handle any situation the kids throw at us so long as we work together.
Do I have to watch any more of this? Please don't make me watch any more of this. I'm begging you. This is getting aggravating by the second. It doesn't make any sense to me. How long is this one? 42. Yeah, I'm not doing 42 minutes.
At the end of the day, it's better for us, and more importantly,
We'll do that another day.
it's better for the kids. So, to give an example of how this actualizes, I'm really familiar with how it feels to date somebody who tends to shut people out and seek isolation when they're in a bad mood. So I'm really good at comforting our son when his girlfriend is doing that. However, I'm fortunate enough to have practically zero experience with genital dysphoria outside of yoga pants, and so I'm not super good at being relatable when one of the kids is struggling with that. That's just one example, but my fiance and I both have our strengths and weaknesses when it comes to the kids. Just dropping our pride and learning how to acknowledge when one of us is better equipped to handle a situation than the other has been such a huge load off of my mind. And as I said, it's better for the kids too. I suppose I'm kind of repeating myself and over-explaining.
I really hate bread tubers. I hate leftists. I hate them so much.
See,
I hate all these people that make content like this. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Again, I understand just how bad some of this will sound to the cynical viewer, so
I hate that they keep trying to just ape their favorite directors.
as I write this, I feel this constant need to explain how we operate as parents, just so that you guys will hopefully know that it isn't taking the form of us just yelling at them until they clean up the house for us. The whole
You are not talking about raising children. You're talking about raising adults.
appeal of these relationships is to give two massively neglected people the love that they were so dearly deprived of by their biological families, and to give ourselves that constant assurance that we're a healthy influence on the people we care about. The line between being someone's guiding light in life and
What
being a
the fuck?
manipulator is admittedly a thin one.
Why are
but I
they?
never, ever
Why
let my
are
gaze
they
drift
putting
from that
this in the
line.
corner?
I've been a manipulator in the past,
Why did they just get undressed, blur it, and keep them in the frame? Okay, whatever.
and I know myself and cherish my personal growth too much to ever risk becoming that person again.
What is this Ron Howard-esque fucking editing, bro?
If I felt, even for a moment, like I was using the trust they place upon me and calling me their mother to my own benefit, instead of keeping their best interest in mind, I don't think I could live with myself. Anyways, as I've already detailed in my previous videos about the family's experience with the hurricane that destroyed our town, the kids have gotten so much better about not just saying, "I'm fine," when it's clear that they aren't. They're a lot more willing to tell us when they have a problem, even if it's a problem that they know will make us sad, like all of that business with my biological sister I discussed in the last video. This mutual trust is building between us. We trust them more to tell us when something is wrong, and as a result, they trust us more to not have secret grudges that we're holding against them, and to be honest if we have a problem of some kind. Okay, now we just gotta wait for the oil to drain. Hey, can you hand me my mic, kiddo?
Stop calling him kiddo. Please. Please stop doing that.
I'll be real. It kind of breaks my heart to say it, but I feel more like these people care about me, the real me, than almost anybody in my biological family does anymore. Why do you think I'm not afraid to say things like that in these videos? It's not like any of them will ever watch this. Well, this list keeps on growing longer and longer, forcing me to revise this section of the script over and over and over again, but let's settle on 3. There were these 3 particular moments, each with my son, that really affirmed
I can literally see why your parents don't like you. I can see it. You're just, oh God, you're pretentious.
for me that this is where I'm supposed to be in life. That being a mother is just part of who I am. It's my place in the world. The first was just a few days ago when my son told me that me saying that he taught me a new kind of love I've never felt before was one of the reasons that he felt like he could never take his life. Then that being a mother is just part of who I am. It's my place in the world.
What?
The first was just a few days ago when my son told me that me saying that he taught me a new kind of love I've never felt before was one of the reasons that he felt like he could never take his life.
What the fuck? Dude, this is not good. What do I even say to that? What do I even say to that? What do I say? That is unhealthy as all literal hell. This is not good.
Then you've got the time that he gave me the spare key to his car without me asking for it or anything. After going on a whole tangent the day before about how he thought it was really toxic and controlling that his biological father kept trying to get it from him. The last was just a few weeks prior to that when he said something that nearly made me instantly burst into tears.
Okay.
This 19-year-old boy neglected by his family and rejected by his church-going community. This 19-year-old boy who is easily the most sensitive and one of the most easily hurt people that I've ever met.
That is pathetic, but okay.
This 19-year-old boy who spent his whole life feeling so incredibly alone in this world
Okay.
told me, some
Cool.
random girl who happens to really, really care about him, that I was everything he wished his biological mother had been. And that's how I know that this whole experience has been the next step of my discovery of my place in the world. Okay, kiddo, that's probably gonna be done draining in just a minute, and then... all we gotta do is clean it
This is Manson family shit.
up and put in the rest of the
This is
oil,
Manson
and we are
family
good.
shit.
And this one's can drive again. So, oh, here, let me go ahead and grab the oil dish.
What the? You're not even. Can you at least put effort into you trying to hit that tree? Is it really over? Is it over? Oh, it's not over. It's not over. There's more. There's more.
So, this would be my first video that was shot.
Oh, this isn't worth it. Okay, it isn't worth it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That. What do I even say about that? That might have been the most confusing video I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay. Like, I don't know what to think there. Okay. I don't know what to do. Okay, I might have to have like a legitimate Sherpa stream with what is it? A legitimate Sherpa stream with Falgi. I think we're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna go outside again and enjoy my day and forget about all the weird shit that I just watched today. Yeah, that's really it. Thank you for watching.